Filmland Spirits, Rise of the Robots. What is it? Who is it? Should we be afraid? I don't know! On this episode of Savor the Burn! See that guy over there with the big beard? He's a wizard, and if I don't appear over there and help him sell merch, well, poof.
Oh my.
Oh my. Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. Thank you for following along on your favorite podcast app of choice, and don't forget to click like and subscribe and follow and all the things on YouTube.
All the things.
All the things. My name is Jonathan. Across the barrels from me is Mr. Wizard Fingers W2. How do you do?
Doing pretty good.
And who is this special guest we have here with us tonight?
I'm excited. He might think we're nuts already, but...
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Nuttier and squirrel shit. But we're here. We're here to do it.
This is my son, Ethan.
Hello.
Hello, Ethan.
Hello, Jonathan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen you since... you were about wee tall. You were beating on little drums and chasing the girls. Chasing his tail, a couple other ones, too. No, it was a grinder show. Summer Jam.
The metal.
Yeah, Summer Jam 2024. It was a hoot and a holler. There's lots of good time. You brought your lady friend.
I did, yes.
And was there a small child involved?
There was not.
Okay.
Luckily.
There were a lot of small children there that day. And I was like, what are all these kids doing here? Get out of the way.
You're making me sweat here. You know, I was like, wait a minute, small child.
Well, you know.
My beard may be gray, but I am nobody's grandpa.
Wishing and hoping and dreaming and praying. I don't know the song. Anyway, so today we're going to get into Filmland Spirits barrel strength rye. What is it? Clocking in 108 proof.
Yes, sir.
And they're calling it Ryes. Get it? Ryes. R-Y-E-S of the robots. If you're a fan of what Filmland Spirits has to bring to the table, what they have to offer, then you're already indoctrinated. You know what to expect when it comes to these guys. Love them or hate them. Some people try it and they're like, yeah, it's really not all that great. It tastes kind of young. It's kind of green wood.
You know.
However, much like with the one out of Smoke Wagon out of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They bring something new and interesting to the table.
They do.
I haven't had a bad pour from them yet.
And like your example, Smoke Wagon, Filmland is also MGP.
Right.
So,
and there's really nothing wrong with that.
For those that don't know, MGP is a company based out of Indiana that does all kinds of things. They provide a distillant. You tell them what you're looking for. They create a mash bill that meets your flavor profile that you're looking for, and they provide the distillate for you to take and put in your own barrels, age them in your own warehouse, or
they can do that for you.
They can do that for you and then give you a final product. Filmland, I believe they actually get the product from them after it's aged and everything. They do their own bottling of it and produce it themselves, but it is an MGP product, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Now, if you're a new distillery, this is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they're not a new distillery. They're more interested in the product, the final product, and they're okay with just like Smoke Wagon. Smoke Wagon is perfectly happy with getting their distillant from MGP. Now, Smoke Wagon gets the distillant. Smoke Wagon puts it in their own barrels. They put it in their own rick houses out in the desert on the top shelf to where they can just sit there and cook for as long as they need.
Nice and hot and dry.
Yeah. They do not agitate it. They just let that desert heat just scorch the living hell out of it.
Which is agitating to me. I can only handle so much heat.
But
the older
anyway,
I get, the less tolerant I am to it.
What I love about Filmland is actually the reason that took me so long to discover Filmland. It's kind of gimmicky. It's kind of cheesy. It's kind of cheeky. Everything they do is this old retro sci-fi horror movies. Yeah, But then you get online and you start reading about them, and that's how they approach the entire process. They actually sit down, they write a script, they come up with who are the main characters, what are the characters doing, and all that, and they distill all that down to their flavor profiles and attribute it to what it is they actually distill and produce. And so it's kind of cool, and all the way to and the presentation on the bottles are incredible. They've got the top wooden topper looks like a film canister. It's got the embossing down the label down the side of it. We got introduced officially to them through the Casey Whiskey Guild.
Yep.
The first one of 2024 was this store pick that was absolutely incredible. Blew our minds. We thought it was so good.
And that was
the one that we got.
That was our gateway drug.
We got the cherry Dr. Pepper flavors on that one,
which was wild. I'd never expected to actually take cherry Dr. Pepper in a whiskey of any kind.
Yeah, in a bourbon.
And there it was. There it was. Yeah, with bourbons you can taste all kinds of stuff.
And if I could just ask you to kind of calm down just a little bit.
Yeah.
And
My bad, yeah.
let us get a word in edgewise.
Yeah.
Right. Tell us a little bit about your whiskey journey. Have you ever had Filmland Spirits? Do you what do you usually go for? Is it more budget minded, or is it like some of a top shelf kind of thing?
Definitely don't do a lot of whiskey drinking.
Okay.
Every once in a while, my dad will make me some whiskeys every once in a while. He likes his old fashions.
Yes. So he'll make you whiskey cocktails. He's not going to make you whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not.
I'm not making whiskey.
If he is, he got some splaining to do, sir. I've been in this band for 2.5 years. We've been doing this podcast for almost as long, and you're making whiskey and not telling me. I almost got disheveled. Well, I guess if you got more to talk about here with Filmland, you go ahead and I will pour.
This is the Filmland Spirits Ryes of the Robot. R-Y-E-S. Ryes of the Robot. Extended cut, which is their distinction for their cast strength offering.
Pause for bottle pop.
Boom.
Nice.
Gotta like that. It's a great color. This comes in at 108 proof. There is no age statement on this particular one. The mash bill on this is 95% rye and 5% malted barley. So there's no corn, there's no wheat. This is rye and just a little bit of barley. It says, the battle to save humanity and happy hour. In the aftermath of the automation wars of 3050, the world has rejected technology and embraced a simpler time where cocktail clubs are the new state houses and bartenders hold sway. When a fallen technology titan builds an army of robotic bartenders to conquer the world, the only hope is Courtney Winters, the cocktail consortium's #1 bartender. Can she fend off this despotic army of mechanized mixologists, or will this be the world's unhappiest hour?
I like the sound of mechanized mixologist. It's fun to say if you can say it.
It does go on to say that mint and oak on the nose and tongue with notes of chocolate maple cream and a long, robust finish that hints at fresh-baked sourdough. Enjoyed neat or with a drop of water, this sophisticated blend is sure to mobilize humans and robots alike.
All right, well, speaking of robots, I accidentally poured it a little strong, so hopefully we like it.
How do we review these?
Oh, easy peasy. We check the nose. We give it a 0 to 5 rating scale on that. On just our first impressions, our second and third and fourth and fifth impressions, whatever it is that we think. Because sometimes when you get down near the bottom of it, you give it another nose. It
changes.
It does. It really does. It has time to kind of breathe a little bit and open up. And we've talked about this before. We had a video that we shared with one another early on, where there was a guy that talked about letting your whiskey breathe like a minute like in the glass, let it breathe in the glass for like a minute per year of aging. Now we don't have an age statement on this, right? Okay, so
no, but there's a lot of color. So
that color we can guess what 4 years at least, I would think.
Well, considering the spoiler alert, part 2 of this episode, we're going to get into the beautiful bottle next to it, which is a 9-year straight bourbon whiskey. So that said, this may be a little bit lighter in color than that. So yeah, I'd say 6 to 8 years.
But yeah, going back to the rating system, we rate on nose, palate, finish, and bottle presentation. Mm-hmm. We give that a 0 to 5 rating, and then add all that up, divide it by 2, and that's how we end up with our final score. Mm-hmm. And you can find those final scores on anywhere in the liquor cabinet on savortheburn.com.
No.
So right off the bat on the nose, I picked up malted rye. It's not full malted rye. There's also like regular ass rye in there, but oak and
I'm getting sourdough.
You're picking up sourdough on the
sourdough and maybe a pumpernickel rye bread.
I can see rye, yeah.
There is a little bit of mint on there, mint with that oak.
Yeah, it's really present.
I'm gonna say black pepper.
Black pepper. It's
not to be confused with the white pepper that was prominent on all the tequilas that we did last month.
Each one of them
before Halloween.
Oh, what's this? I hear about you, me, us, one of us, both of us. I don't know, being banned from imbibing in the tequila.
Well, we had a lot of tequila that night. Actually, we were good with the tequila, and then we came to that cocktail that said just add a bottle of tequila to the mix and pour it up, and we went okay.
Yeah.
And then we still poured ourselves a 6-ounce, 4-ounce cocktail that was straight tequila.
Yeah, we didn't think to put crushed ice in there, cubed ice, anything
club soda.
Then just we'll be all right. High five.
So anyway,
yeah, these are good bold notes on the nose. Let's get them on the palate.
Let's do it. Nope.
Huh?
You hold on to it like this. Gotta get the ring. There you go.
Nice.
We're gonna teach him.
Caramel sweet. Rye for days.
Now, Tennessee, your Uncle Tim, he taught us that sometimes a Kentucky chew actually helps open up the palate a little bit. So you take a little bit of a sip of there and actually like chew it like you got a mouthful of food.
Like you're chewing on pine tar. Who does that?
Also, getting it on the nose, opening your mouth a little bit, letting as you inhale that roll over the back of the tongue a little bit also helps ignite the nose a little bit. You get anything on the palate?
On the palate, rye for days. It's got caramel sweet, or like it's caramel.
Yep.
A lot of it. And there's oak. I'm trying to figure out if the mint's carried through. I feel like it's showing back up on the finish.
What about you?
Rye, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not really tasting the mint note though.
No.
I can definitely smell it, but I can't really taste it.
Is there a little bit of a tea? Is there a little bit of a tea, like a chai tea kind of a spice to it?
I haven't had chai tea in so long, I forgot all about it. It's so good, though.
I'm getting a little bit of that char.
Oak and char.
Look at those legs. She's got legs.
Knows how to use them. Maybe ZZ Top.
Wow.
No love for ZZ Top? Well, this episode is over. Thank you for watching the Savor the Burn podcast. Never.
There's a lot of your classic rye spices. I'm gonna go a step farther and say coriander. Maybe a little bit of baking spices.
Yeah, the baking spices and the I think the sourdough carried through. I also think the sourdough
all the way through to the finish.
Right.
I think the finish also. I'm not only reading it, but I was going to say I think that the finish opens up to a little bit of milk chocolate and more of that vanilla.
You think? Okay, so vanilla. That's something that we haven't brought up, but vanilla is definitely on there. It's on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
And I would agree that it's on the finish too.
You know, when I first read that this was 108 proof, I'm like, come on, this is supposed to be cask strength.
Mm-hmm.
But ryes typically are a little lower down in proof in comparison to bourbon. So, and what we've learned with Michter's distills
right.
and barrels everything before it goes into the barrel, so that, you know, as it proofs up, it's still not outrageous compared to what it ultimately ends up at. So 108 for a rye, that's a pretty good proof.
I'm happy with the finish, the length. It's long.
Yeah.
It's long.
Yeah.
It's a long finish, and it's really warm. Oh, what were you saying? There was something else on the finish that I didn't get to write down. I got caramel, mint, sourdough, rye grain, chai tea. Was that on the?
That was on the palate.
On the palate.
I said milk chocolate and vanilla.
Milk chocolate and vanilla. Milk chocolate, really?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely got more of a glazed caramel, like a smoky caramel.
Okay.
Versus a chocolate.
Yeah.
On what finish?
Yes.
You'd say what did you just say?
Like a smoky caramel.
Smoky caramel. Okay.
Would that be more of a? Would that actually be a caramel, or would that be more of a toffee? Because when I think of like a burnt caramel or a smoky caramel, my mind immediately goes like English toffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then I'll probably say like a toffee then.
Slash.
Not that I'm trying to change your palate or anything.
Now, I'm not a whiskey expert, so...
No. You don't have to be. Because we're not either. We're just whiskey enthusiasts. That's what we call ourselves. We're not... I think aficionado is too fancy of a word. I don't even know what that word means. But I like to think that we're close to aficionados. Because we are enthusiasts, borderline snobs now. Like when I went to Junction 35 last time I went to Pigeon Forge, first time I went there, I thought, well, this is pretty cool. This is pretty tasty stuff. And the second time I went there, I was like, my God, this is hot garbage. What the hell? Like, I can't believe this. What the hell's going on? And I couldn't believe it. And so I did end up going back another time because my son came into town on his way down to his home in Georgia. And I took him there. I'm like, yeah, this is the place. This is, we've done things here, or we've done reviews on the bottles. We'll give you a taste, test of what all they have. And of course, anywhere you go in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg area, what they want to do is line you up with all their gimmick whiskeys.
Oh yeah, they do.
And I'm just not a fan of gimmick whiskeys. And most of them, 90% of them, are going to be moonshines.
I do love me a bourbon cream though, like a
bourbon cream,
like a so moonshine good. Cream.
So good.
Just little Henry gets me up early on a Saturday morning, make myself a thing of coffee, and
a little bit for the reindeer, a little bit for Santa Claus, a little bit for the elves, a little bit more for Santa Claus, a little bit more for Santa Claus. I don't know what I'm talking about. I want Cheech and Chong with it.
Are you making a reference to my beard?
Oh, no.
Ho, 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 motherfuckers.
It is a magnificent beard. Magnificent.
Hope to one day get that as well.
One day. You just have to let it grow out.
Yeah. And it gets about edge of finger length, so.
W2, what'd you give it on the nose?
I gave it a 4 1/4.
Damn. So did I. I wasn't wowed by it. Maybe I was wowed by it and it didn't register. I was wowed on the palate for sure, but the notes were few, but they were very strong. They were very prevalent right there in your face. Malted rye, a little bit of the grain kind of showing up. Oak, mint, sourdough, and pumpernickel rye. Very, very nice. How about you,
I
Mr. Ethan?
gave it a 4.
He gave it a 4 even.
Yes.
Someone who doesn't drink whiskey,
Yeah.
let alone rye.
Yeah.
Let alone
pretty good score.
probably higher proof, 108 proof whiskeys.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only real thing I have to compare it to, I know, shame on me, Fireball, and I can't stand that stuff now. So
Did it on purpose.
it was a celebration time.
Listen, here's the thing.
Dig what you dig.
We're not dig what you dig. Yeah, Corey Taylor said it best. Dig what you dig, man. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. You just if that's what you like, drink it, enjoy it.
At the time, I did.
Oh, at the time.
Yeah, I can barely drink the stuff now.
Okay.
I'll drink to that.
Got a little sick to it.
W2 palate. Talk to me. What'd you give it?
I bumped it up to 4.5.
Girl, same. The palate exploded. Like everything that was there on the nose exploded and then some. Like it widened up. There was rye for days, caramel sweet. Your smoky caramel / toffee that showed up for you on the finish probably for me showed up so it's like a car wreck. It was really good. I don't know what that meant. Hopefully you enjoyed. You picked up on some oak and char and some coriander. You brought up the baking spices. I totally agree on that. I started to pick up on the sourdough towards the end of it, thinking that it was more on the finish, but it absolutely is on the palate, and vanilla.
Yeah.
And vanilla. It was excellent. How about you?
I gave it a 4.25.
4.25. So we're all in the same ballpark here.
Yeah.
We definitely enjoyed it. W2, speaking of finish, what'd you give it on the finish?
I came back down to 4.25.
Well, I kept it at 4.5.
I could have easily done that.
Yeah, for me, it was
a great
too
finish.
easy. It was too easy not to. But more often than not, when it comes to whiskeys and all that they have to offer, sometimes the palate is so present that the finish makes you miss it. You know, and you taste it. It's like all these flavors are kind of falling away, and you're just like, oh man, I need another sip.
I mean, it's still that finish is still dancing a little bit on the back of the tongue.
It really is. The sweetness for me, that caramel, that kind of smoky caramel toffee that you were talking about. I noticed it was caramel sweet. There's a little bit of mint. We talked about the sourdough. The rye for me flipped from malted rye to a grain rye. You said vanilla and milk chocolate. And I think we all agreed that it was long and warm. How about you, Ethan? What'd you give it on the finish?
I gave it a 4.5.
4.5. So yeah, you matched me on that one.
Yes, I liked the smoked caramel or toffee that you said, and a lot of whiskeys that I've tried didn't left like a burning aftertaste. This one, not too much. So this
What
one was
whiskeys do you normally try? Like if
Not
you go
a
into a
lot.
liquor store,
yeah.
that's fine.
Typically, I've only really tried whiskeys that my dad has
Okay.
given me.
Okay, so you have no choice but to be ruined.
Yes, yes.
Because me being a dad, I want to put all of my best whiskeys to my kids. When they want to try it out. So I'm sure it's just the same.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get a dry glass for my second nose.
So we do a second nose. We let the glass get all dried out because we have found by accident that after the glass is empty, and the shape of this glass really helps funnel and concentrate the aromas you get on the nose, which is why these type of glasses are so great for tasting. After the glass is done, a lot of times we end up getting the oatmeals and the grains that were part of that show up.
Like the dry ingredients that go into the initial mash. It's really wild. We didn't expect it. I think we found a year at least into it. So I'm looking forward to.
Before we get to that, what'd you give it on the bottle?
On the bottle presentation, on the first one that we did way back when, I gave it a 4.5. These guys meet that 100%. It's got. Like we talked about in the kind of beginning of the episode, I mean, you have bottle embossments with Filmland, and you've got like the film canister gear kind of thing going on here. Not much going on down here in the punt. That's all right. You got
great neck label.
Your bottle topper, like we said, looks like the film strip and film reel. It's natural cork. It's a solid bottle. I mean, solid and well built. It's got the Filmland logo here. It's kind of Art Deco style.
The use of the metallic inks. You got metallic silver inks in the label. You got gold on the neckband.
You got a smoke show on the label. Look at her. All dressed in a little.
I mean, super 1960s style
car.
And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I can't help it. I can't help myself. You W2, what did you give it on bottle presentation?
I gave it 4.5.
You gave it 4.5. All right, so you kept it there.
Really, the only difference between this one and the rest of them is this actually has the barrel pick Casey Whiskey Guild decal on there with the logo on there, which is super cool.
Yeah.
But does it warrant an extra point of any kind? In this case, I don't really think so.
I don't. I really don't. To me,
there's so much else that the bottle and the presentation offers that it kind of encompasses with or without that.
Yeah, I mean, with every bottle, every offering that they have, it's a different storyline. Yep. They've got this whole thing that they've come up with, and it's really fun to kind of look into it. It's not quite the Marvel universe or the DC universe. It's the Filmland universe. It's their own thing, and I really like it. I mean, you got your cast of characters, like, who are they? What do they do? What do they have to do with
full descriptions about them?
Full descriptions, yeah, because you're not going to be able to see the movie. There's no movie. It's just it's.
But if you go out on their website, they have a movie trailer.
They have trailers.
They have a movie trailer for every offering.
What is the website? Do you have that handy? Is it Filmland Spirits?
Filmlandspirits.com.
Okay, go to filmlandspirits.com and check out which movie trailer you want to see. Let us know if you found any of them spectacular or not. Send us an email, info W2 or Jonathan at savortheburn.com. So we made it from nose palate.
How about Ethan's
down to bottle presentation. What did you give it on bottle presentation?
I originally gave it a 4, but I decided to change it to a 4.75. A little bit because
you stepped it up.
Oh yeah,
big time.
I love the bottle design. Definitely gives me classic Space Invaders where they come from Mars.
Yep.
Also Destroy All Humans on the PlayStation 2. That was one of my favorite games growing up.
Was that with the little alien?
It was, yes.
Like you could shoot an anal probe at people and
Yep. Bright green anal probe, and they ran around in their head.
That's what it was, yeah.
You could read the minds of cows too.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my son loved that one, and he called him anal probe, and I'm like, son, we need to talk. That brings us to our final score.
Yeah.
We take nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation, add those 4 columns up, 0 to 5 rating, add them up, divide that by 2, and that's how we end up with our final score. W2, what's your final score?
8 3/4.
8 3/4. Mine was 8 7/8. So we're not far away from each other. How about you, Ethan? What'd you get?
I had 8 3/4 as well.
My father likes son. How about them apples? That's pretty cool.
I really enjoyed this one, and I'm glad that I went ahead and got the extended cut for a little bit of more proof on there.
Yep.
I do think that just memory serves me on the store pick, which is store pick is always a single barrel because they buy a barrel, they bottle it up, and every bottle is from that one barrel. This is going to be batched.
Okay.
This is going to be however many barrels. It's cash strength, so it's not cut down, but it's multiple. It's multiple barrels that they've dumped together.
Barrel picks could be proofed down. Not always, but they could be.
In this case, it's not.
It's not.
It's cash strength. They offer proof down versions of both of these. Store picks are usually going to be. They don't have. Yeah. To your point, store picks don't have to always be cash strength. It's at their discretion. Yep. Do you want more bottles, or do you want a higher proofed? In a lot of cases, a little bit more flavor in each bottle. Do you want to get 150, 160 bottles out of the barrel?
Yeah.
Or do you want 210, 220 out of there? Profit versus quality.
I'll take quality over quantity.
You know, this comes in at 118.2 proof. So that's a little bit hotter.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. No, it can. That's 108 proof. And I just realized, no, he's got that bottle over there. We're going over this.
Moonlight Mayhem. Oh!
But this episode is about the Ryes of the robots.
Take me to your leader.
Well, anyway, so if this sounds good to you, and you have not yet heard of or tried either or both whatevs, Filmland Spirits, definitely check them out.
Yeah.
Find them, go on their website, filmlandspirits.com, and see if you can find a store locator and just grab yourself a bottle of something that they have.
They recently released, to add to their offering, a 4-grain.
A 4-grain.
A 4-grain. And they've actually released that one, with it being a 4-grain, they released it with 4 different label designs.
That's cool. That's cool. I think the first 4-grain whiskey we tried was from Wilderness Trail, wasn't it? Or was it somebody else?
That could have been that one.
Yeah. Well,
is this one a single grain or a 4-grain? Or how many grains is this one?
This one's 2-grain. It's 95% rye and 5% malted barley.
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah. Very good question. Yeah, I didn't even think about the mash bill on this. Yeah, well, 5% malted barley. Yeah, you can't really expect to find any of those grassy notes or any kind of the bright. I'm surprised that with it being 5% malted barley that we didn't get any more of the mint than we got.
Yep.
So that's really cool. That's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up. So if this sounds good, check them out, filmlandspirits.com. While you're at it, check out savorthebirn.com. Check out the liquor cabinet. Look for this bottle, that bottle, and probably by the time you see this, this bottle will be in there too.
Hit subscribe.
Yep. And hit the bell notification. Stay up to date on all things Savor the Burn on YouTube and your favorite podcast app of choice. Thank you for listening if you're audio only. Thank you for watching if you're on YouTube and or who is it, Spotify?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Spotify.
If you have a whiskey, a spirit of anything that you might want us to check out, let us know. Send us an email, info@savorthebirn.com, w2@savorthebirn.com, or Jonathan@savorthebirn.com. Ethan, thank you for joining us on this episode.
Thanks for coming over.
Always a pleasure.
Definitely cool.
Yes.
And stay tuned because we are going to do this bottle next. What is this bottle? I don't know. We're finding out. We're going to find out, and we're going to find out a little bit more about Mr. Ethan, what he has to bring to the world. But we don't know. We don't know. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. We're definitely gonna have a good time. So if that sounds good to you, check us out on the next episode of SavorTheBurn.com. And until then, no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, and who you're drinking it with, never forget. Keep on burning.